All right, so that's the end of the second test, and it's been a draw. I would have to say it's perhaps one of the shortest tests that we've ever witnessed cricket-wise. It seemed really long because of the fact that most of the days were spent in waiting for the rain to end and for the light to come back. But that's not something that we saw. Only 134 overs were bowled in the game, 4 wickets at the end from England side, and then Pakistan. Pakistan would be looking back at this test, thinking about the lost opportunities to really get back into the series. So they do have another opportunity, of course, because we do have another test scheduled at Southampton. But I've got Monty here with me once again to talk us through things. Monty, yeah, it's been a very frustrating test for most of the cricket lovers, especially fans in Pakistan, who've been cricket deprived. It has been less of cricket and more of the rain and more of the interruptions overall.
Yeah, this test match could have been a great test match. I think how Pakistan bowled, especially on the fifth day, they tried to get something out of bowling against the English batsmen and just trying to put that doubt in their mind now. They won a test match very comfortable. Well, they're probably going to lose at one stage, but they in the first test match they won that, and then you kind of think how would the Pakistan team react? Would their confidence go down? Would they believe in winning a game, winning sessions? And I think they've shown, real good sort of character in this test match that they really want to put some psychological blows on the English batting lineup, and I think they've done that. And if they continue to, well, there's 19 overs to go, but if they continue to bowl, they would have probably taken a few more wickets. And I think they really want to, level this series when the third test match starts.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at the first test as well, Pakistan dominated most of the sessions. Yes, England won, but that test is always going to be remembered by at least by Pakistanis as a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity, but you also, you got to, you can understand why they lost the match as well because it's a young team. They got themselves in a situation to win the test match, and suddenly you become a bit desperate. You suddenly you hold that ball a little bit tighter. When the catch comes to you, you're a bit more tense, and there's a few drop chances, and some easy ones as well. But I think I think they're beginning to realize now, the Pakistan team, that how to win sessions, how to. Azhar Ali, I think, made some good decisions as captain. Maybe he's listening to our reports, Zainab, because he seems to follow whatever we're saying at the moment. I said Mohammed Abbas to be a control bowler, and he was. He kept some control, and suddenly he put pressure on the English batsman. So it just goes to show that once you don't search for wickets from one end, it actually allows Azhar Ali to captain, the team when he knows that he can control the run rate from one end and attack from the other.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there wasn't much time left in the day today, but we did see 4 wickets fall down, and Muhammad Abbas, he's exceptional. So this is going to be playing in the minds of this of the English batsmen come the third test. He obviously gave them a lot of trouble in the first one, and now we're moving on to the third one, where this is going to be sitting at the back of their minds.
Yeah, like I think we've already checked the forecast, and there is a bit of rain around the third test match as well. And if this ball is swinging slightly, the Pakistan team knows, and the coach, Misbah, knows that, guys, we're in the game here. The top order, they don't play the swinging ball as well as, we think they do. And if Mohammed Abbas, bowls with some discipline, we can actually attack from the other end. And that's what happened. And then Abbas got a couple of wickets. Next thing you know, they could have easily just, bowled England out. And I think that's how they're going to look to probably, try and control and win this test match. And also, they seem a lot more relaxed. They seem happier. They were all very jovial, very happy, having a laugh with everyone. And I think that's how, this Pakistan, team needs to understand when they want to get control back, just enjoy the cricket that's playing out there, play some disciplined game. And once you get, all you need is one wicket, and then that's it. They'll start pouncing on the team like cornered tigers. So I think that's Pakistan. When the game isn't going their way, in the past, they will get quite deflated. But I think this time round, they were trying to enjoy it. They knew that, right, we're not getting a wicket, but we're just going to enjoy being out there and enjoy playing some disciplined cricket. Once we get that first wicket, that's it. We'll start, putting pressure on the team. So I like this new approach from Pakistan.
Let's talk a little about Mohammad Rizwan. A lot has been spoken about his keeping, his batting. There's been a lot being said about him, lots of comparisons with Sarfraz, and but he's done a fine job behind the stumps. And then you look at the way he batted in extreme conditions. Considering there was loss of momentum due to all the interruptions and so many other things. You've got to give credit to that guy.
Yeah, look, I think Pakistan have got more out of this game than England have. They've begun to realize they were in a situation where they could have got bowled out for 180. The Pakistan of old, but they fought themselves out of it. Then they were in a situation where the wicketkeeper Rizwan actually counter-attacked the innings. He did the hard work, and then he able to sort of play that role as well. And I think that's what they're going to look from him. He looks like a really good keeper. And batting wise as well, he can change gears as well. So I think Pakistan are beginning to now get a feel of like, right, what's everyone's role, how we should play the game in different sessions, depending on the situation of the game. I think they're getting a better grasp of it. So I'm really looking forward to the third Test match, because I think Pakistan are looking in good shape now.
Zach Crawley, what did you make of him?
Zach Crawley's a good player. He was getting in some really good positions, and when the ball wasn't doing much, both Zach and Dominic Sibley were really good. But once it starts swinging a little bit, or if the Pakistan team have the presence of mind thinking that, okay, it's not doing much, let's do something. Let's just bowl it at the stumps, and then gradually we'll move it across fourth stump, fifth stump, and let's see how these young batsmen play. Now, of the old, the like of Alistair Cook, he would have left that ball all day long. He had such good discipline that he would just bowl to my pads. If it's short, I'll cut it, or just, you got to bowl to me. I'm not going to chase the ball. But the young batsmen here, they seem to still, play and miss at it. They tempt them. They bowl a full ball outside off stump, which they should look to leave, and they're still going to go after it. So I think, there's some sort of game plans and strategies are being sort of set by the Pakistan team, where they know that, hang on a minute, we can actually bowl this England side out cheaply if we get our game plans right.
They definitely have the ammunition, so to speak, to bowl them out cheaply. Now, for the third test, there is that option of rotating the bowlers. There is if you want to opt for experience from a Pakistan perspective, there is Sohail Khan, who toured in 2016 and took some wickets in the side games. But then you also have that option of just going unchanged. Do you think Pakistan should make any changes at all? And I'm talking about overall, not just in the bowling, bowling department, because obviously it is the last test.
Look, I think from a bowling perspective, Pakistan's strength is their bowling. And on the field, when Pakistan just seem a stronger team when they're on the field and they're bowling. So I think they should keep that as the same. Could be the possibility of, forward Alam. He's waited such a long time. I feel like we should give him another Test match, just because he's waited for such a long time, the poor fella. So I'll probably think, let's just keep the same team, keep the same team. And I think Pakistan, after the way they played today, it's encouraging signs, and I think the Pakistan coach would be happy. But also England, they'll need to be on their toes. They can't just think that they had a great win, that the third Test match will be an easy one. Any sort of slight conditions that favour both teams in the bowling department, I think both teams, their batting is vulnerable against English conditions.
Yeah, and in terms of the pitch that we've seen in Southampton, I think, would you say that a lot would be dependent again on the weather?
I think weather plays a huge role in England. If I hope it isn't as much rain, but yeah, whenever there's a bit of rain around, it changes the texture of the ball. It changes, the way the ball swings. And when there's sunshine beating on the pitch, suddenly that pitch, becomes flat. The same deliveries that maybe Yassine Shah was bowling to Zach Crawley, he doesn't need to move his feet as much and just play through the line. And you think, wow, what a talent he is. And then other days you get a bit of rain cover and he just looks to swing it and you snick, he's edged it. So I think these are the challenges that are going to be posed on both teams when the conditions, favour bowling. So I think it'll be interesting to see how both teams react when the ball does move around. And England are as vulnerable as the Pakistani batting lineup when they are facing swinging conditions.
Do you think England is going to make any changes at all?
Yeah, I think that's quite a good question. I think England may think of bringing Mark Wood, into the fold and think, could we do with that extra pace? Do
What
we
about
need
Jofra
Sam
Archer?
Curran? I think Jofra Archer, I just don't think he has. I think Mark Wood, will bowl quicker at the moment. He's had more rest, and you don't want to injure Jofra Archer either. He's a key player in this team, and playing him too much cricket, he's vulnerable. He does get injured. And Mark Wood, he hasn't played a Test match for quite a while now. Since the first one against West Indies. So I think he could, if he's bowling quick, you could just think, maybe we need a bit of pace in the attack. Do we really need to keep our batting strong? Chris Woakes is batting well. Obviously had a bit of the middle order against the moving ball, but both teams are vulnerable when the ball starts moving. That'll probably be my only option, thinking that, do I need extra pace? Or am I happy with the all-rounders that we have? And it will very much to do with the weather. If the weather is similar, like it was in the second Test match, I think England will keep the same team, because they will think that the slightly overcast conditions and whenever it rains will probably favour more of the swing bowlers than the likes of the pace of Mark Wood.
Yeah, but he hasn't been given an opportunity in the series as of, from whatever we're seeing, because Archer was playing the first one. And, that thought of just having that extra pace in, just to, you yourself were mentioning yesterday, how that extra bit of pace and putting that effort in can really get a bit hard for the batsman to deal with. So certainly an option, though, for them.
Yeah, it is an option, and I think it's something they would consider. Like, would I need that extra fast bowler if both Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad, may not be taking the wickets? Do I maybe want that extra pace? And that's up to Joe Root. That's something he will have to decide. If I was captain, I would definitely go for the extra pace, because I think this Pakistani batting lineup, right? We bowled them out cheaply. But Sam Curran, yeah, he did well, but I think the weather's going to be better, in the third Test match. In the third Test, it's not going to be as so much rain around. So
are you sure you want to predict the weather in England?
Well, I think I'm taking a big gamble here, but
Yeah.
I being a cricket fan myself, and a lot of cricket fans around the world, I'm sure people want to see less rain in the third Test match and maybe more pace with the likes of Mark Wood playing in the third Test.
Okay, let's hope for the best. Let's hope that there is no rain that plays spoil sport, because even on a Pakistan front, they like we just mentioned, that it was a missed opportunity to really test some of their players, including Fawad Alam, because remember he played just one innings, and wasn't really given a chance to prove himself in the other one. But it should be an interesting one, because I think from a Pakistan perspective, they will take confidence from some performances, like from what we saw from Rizwan and the way he kept behind the stumps, and then their bowling is strong as it is. So even in the end, they managed to make 230 odd runs. Who knows, had we had the full game, where things would go? Such as, like you said, England's got a vulnerable uh, batting lineup as well, but at the same time, they've got a world class bowling attack in the form of Broad, Anderson, and Chris Woke. So let's see what happens. Exciting times. As long as the weather does not interfere, I think we're up for a great third test. And if Pakistan manages to win that one, I think a drawn series is something they will happily take, because remember, they're the only team, I think, who have the highest winning percentage since 2011 in England. They have drawn the last two series in England. I think a lot of teams haven't been able to do that in 2016 and 2018. So they could perhaps keep up with the tradition and draw the series once again. So let's see what happens. But thank you so much for your thoughts, Monty. Once again, it's always a pleasure to speak to you.